You can want love all you want, but at the end of the day, you should be enough for you, okay? And today's video, I'm gonna talk about why I love being single and why I choose to be single and why being single has allowed me to figure out who I am and create the best version of me. And I'm doing that every single day. I'm constantly working on myself. I'm constantly trying to figure out how to make myself better. And before getting sober, that was not my primary focus. My primary focus was my relationships. And let me tell you something. This girl right here, she used to date a lot, okay? I was in one relationship, and the moment I'd end that relationship, I'd jump into another one. Well, I was kind of the person who was already starting another relationship while she was in a relationship because I was so desperate to be wanted and needed. And oh God, I'm so far from that chick. But if that sounds familiar, honey, we got a lot of work to do, okay? So why don't we start here? Let's take it back. I started dating or hooking up, I don't know, when I was 14 years old. Well, actually, when I was in 7th grade, an older guy, he was in 8th grade, an upperclassman at the time, which was like the biggest deal. Oh, no, that's not true. I was in 6th grade. I lied. I was in 6th. So it was kind of a big deal that an 8th grader was like, I want to take her to, I don't know, was it a dance? I think I just made that up. No, he just wanted to date me. And then on Halloween, my sister like did my hair and my makeup, and my costume was, what was I? I was a pageant girl. So sorry, I don't think that's the name. Like Miss USA, Jesus. Okay, I'll just put a picture. I think you guys, okay. So that's what I was. And I remember him just being blown away. He was just like, oh, you look so beautiful and blah, blah, whatever. He asked me to be his girlfriend that day. So the one day that I looked like a decent human, he was like, oh, I want her to be mine. All right, let me cut the story a little short. Sorry, I could definitely go on and on. So long story short, Jessica, he thought I looked great. He asked me to be his girlfriend. I think we dated for 2 weeks, and I was walking outside. Oh yeah, I wouldn't kiss him. That was it. I would not kiss him. Okay, he was an upperclassman. I was super nervous. I had never kissed a guy before, and he wanted me to kiss him. And I was like, I'm not ready to kiss you. And so he decided to break up with me. And this is how he did it. He sat outside with 2 of his friends in front of the deli across the street from my school. I'll never forget it. I was with Fat T. Sammy and Christina Ortiz. Hey girls, I'm sure you're doing wonderful with your lives. You're both genius and beautiful human beings. Anyway, moving on. So we were walking across the street and he looked at me, pointed, and then did this. Yeah. That's how that happened. Yeah, so he was trying to let me know that I was cut. Those were scissors, not a baby alligator. Yeah, it's pretty awful. I think I cried. I was really heartbroken over it. And years later, these are the best stories. I was a sophomore, I believe, in high school. He had a girlfriend and he tried to get with me. It was lovely telling him to fuck off. Dating beginnings, not the best start. So I think a big part of me just, like when he did want to get with me again, it was like, oh, it was so rewarding and it felt so good to shut him down. But at the same time, I had already convinced myself that I need to have that. I need to have the guy want me, and I'm going to be the person who breaks hearts. Yeah, because I didn't, I really early on, I struggled with trusting people. Now, that is not an issue that I still deal with. However, I did want to give you kind of a backstory. So that happened, and my dating life, I mean, it was just one person after the other, and I was very young when I was involved with somebody who was much older. Now that I look back at it, it was completely inappropriate and we are not going to discuss that any further. So I continued to date, and every time I got into a relationship with somebody, I would fall for someone that they were close with. I don't know what that was, and I know that I'm not the only person who's done this, so no judging here. I'd be with one person, and then I'd meet his friends, and I'd be like, I'm in love with his friends, and then I'd like figure out a way to let his friends know that I'm in love with them, and then I'd end it with that person and start with this person. And that was just like a pattern of mine. I did that for years. Nobody ever satisfied me. I've never been in love. I basically just used people to feel like I was worthy of something. But the reality is that the types of men that I was attracting, the types of people that I was involved in, were all just as sick and messed up as I was. Yeah. I'm talking drug abuse, verbal, physical abuse, jail time. Like, these are the types of people I was involved with, okay? Now, I think we got enough of the backstory for you to understand. And then my last relationship was right around the time that I was like, I'm gonna get sober. I don't wanna live like this anymore. I'm miserable. He was probably one of the worst, the scariest, the darkest individuals that I've ever met in my life. And yet, I would spend most of my time with him just so I didn't have to face myself. I'd always bounced from one relationship to the next. I was a cheater. I was never faithful. I had no respect for the people I was dating. I had no respect for myself, right? And that's the whole point of this. If you are doing this, if you are constantly in relationships, if you feel that you cannot be single, if you cannot be alone with yourself, honey, no. You got to do it. You have to do it. Stop dating. Stop. So yeah, I dated a lot. Why? Because I was avoiding having to face myself. And honestly, at the time, I didn't know that that's what I was doing. And it took getting sober and being alone and rediscovering who I am to actually understand that that's what I was doing. You may not think that that's what you're doing, but if you are dissatisfied in your relationship, if you are constantly breaking up with this person, getting back with them, if you are falling for their friends or coworkers at work when you're in these relationships, if you find yourself cheating, if you cry yourself to sleep often, if you guys are constantly fighting, it's time to stop. Those are all signs that you are not okay with you, that you don't even know who you are, that you don't respect yourself, that you don't love yourself, that you aren't self-aware, that you're not okay with you. Now, the only way to be okay with being alone and being single is to really fully understand who you are. Now listen, I think that I am 100% still in the process of learning who I am. And a big reason why I choose to stay single is because of that. I think that every person before they jump into relationships should feel whole, should feel amazing being alone, should love the idea of being single. I do. Because when you get to that point, when you love being alone, when you enjoy the single life, when you don't need anyone else to validate what you already know about yourself. Honey, that's freedom. That is freedom. And what that does is that prevents you from getting into bad relationships. Because that's what they are. When you do not love yourself, when you are insecure, excuse me for that noise. I'm going to say that every time something gets too loud because it's rude and I want to make the best content for you. And I've been working around my neighbors as often as I possibly can, but once in a while, stuff just happens up there. So I apologize. I'm going to continue. Hopefully it doesn't get too bad so we can finish this video. So what was I talking about? I was talking about freedom. I was talking about, well, I feel like I got past that. But the point that I'm trying to make is this. Once you get to that space in your life, once you feel so confident in yourself, you know what makes you happy. You know what you don't like. You know what you do like. You know your worth. You know your value. Once you get to that point, it is so much easier to determine who to welcome into your space. Honey, when you get there, I promise you, your relationships are not going to continue to be shit, okay? Now, for me, as someone who hasn't dated since sobriety, I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm also talking about family relationships, work relationships, friendships, because every single one of those for me, since getting sober, has completely transformed. Toxic people are no longer able to enter my space. And honey, I don't care if it's family. If they are bringing you down, if they are telling you negative things about you that aren't true, if they are spreading lies about you, they do not deserve, they are not worthy of your energy, your time, and your space. And you can do what you need to do with it. But for me, I've made a decision. Every single person that is in my life because I choose it. And every single person that isn't, again, it's because I choose it. I deserve to be surrounded by people who respect themselves and respect the people around them. Do you respect yourself? Do you know your value? Do you know your worth? Because if you are still involved in relationships, whether they're intimate, whether it's your family relationships, whether it's your friendships, that do not serve you, that bring you down, that make you question the love that you have for other people, that make you question yourself, then you have work to do. No one has a right to make you feel like you are less than. No one. And you have a choice. So going back to being single, if you're terrified of the idea of being single, that is exactly what you need to do. You need to face your fear, and you need to take the time to get to know the real you. Because I promise, as long as you are in these relationships, you're not going to be able to. You're not going to have the opportunity to become self-aware, because that is blocking you. All of your energy is focused on something that is not serving you. I don't have time for you. I don't have time for this. I deserve the best. And right now, by staying in these relationships that don't serve you, you're saying the complete opposite. You're saying, I'm not worth shit. You're saying, I'm okay with being devalued. You're saying, I don't have any respect for myself. You're saying, I don't really care about my feelings. It's whatever you need. Is that what you want? You want to give someone all of your power because you're afraid to be alone? I think you know what you need to do, hon. It's time to say goodbye and say hello to you and work on you and you alone. What are you so scared of? Figure out how to be the best version of you alone. Once you get there, all of this, the scariness of being alone, the sadness that comes with being single, that's not real. You'll get it. You'll see it. You'll understand. What was I doing this whole time? Why was I wasting so much time giving all this energy to a relationship that didn't serve me? I'm just trying to help you get there sooner. I mean, at the end of the day, you know that you're wasting your time. You know that this relationship is a joke. You know that this person doesn't deserve you. But you haven't given yourself time to discover your worth. So you're settling. So you're doing what you think you're supposed to do. Make it work, because most people think that's the best thing to do in a relationship. Honey, if it ain't working, and it hasn't been working, and you've tried different things to make it work, you already have your answer, okay? I feel like this video was supposed to be about why being single is so great, and then I ended up talking about dating, and then I ended up talking about how you're in a shit relationship. So I guess this video was really about how to get the hell out of your shit relationship and start valuing yourself. Take time for you. Stop wasting time on someone else. Stop focusing your energy on another person and trying to make them better. Why are you trying to make them better? Most of the time, if you're spending all your time trying to make someone else better, you're the one who needs the fixing. Okay. Just gotta tell it to you real, okay? You are. If all of your energy is focused on fixing someone else, it's because you don't want to focus on fixing yourself. And the moment you do, you'll thank me. I promise. End it. Start new. Say goodbye to that person. Say hello to yourself. Get to know yourself. Introduce yourself to new things. Figure out what makes you happy. Figure out how to love yourself. You will not remain in awful relationships that don't serve you once you do. I promise you. This video is for the girlfriend whose boyfriend doesn't value her. This video is for the husband whose wife doesn't give him the time of day. This video is for the person who cannot be single. The truth is, you can. The truth is, you're gonna survive. Any breakup, we all do it. I used to do it all the time. You're not gonna die. Everything's good. You're still gonna be in one piece. It may hurt a little, but it's gonna give you the opportunity to find yourself. And I promise you that's so much better than any relationship you will ever get in. Finding yourself, being one with yourself, learning how powerful you are, discovering your worth, discovering your value. That is better than anything you will ever experience in your life. It is. You want to know why so many people are scared of being single? Because they haven't tried it. They haven't really tried it. Because even in being single, they're like online looking for the next partner, trying to hook up with this person on Tinder. Just stop. Just cut it all out for at least a year. Stop being girl crazy. Stop being boy crazy. Be you crazy. Be, oh my God, I'm so in love with me. Be, I am like the greatest person in the world. Be, holy shit, I'm a boss. Be that for an entire year. And then come back to me. Tell me that after a year of being all about you, if you don't feel like the most powerful being, okay? Just do that and come back to me. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm right. And you're not going to regret doing it. You're not going to regret choosing to be single for an entire year and not chasing a relationship with anybody but yourself. Okay? Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Let's try that again. Okay. Thank you for watching. Remember, you are a goddamn warrior. And don't you forget it. Okay? I'm here for you. You got this. Mwah. Okay. Bye for now. Mwah.